I'll be playing Martin, the known worst chess bot, but the twist is he will have 15 queens to my normal setup. That's 96 points of material. I'm going to start with knight f3 to make sure he doesn't have checkmate, and he's a bot, so he moves very, very fast. And he didn't even take back the pawn. Not that it matters that much, but now I'm going to take the queen, and he does take back. That is a big surprise. And discover attack on his queen. He does not at all notice it, but he does take back. I'm going to take. I think I'm going to threaten his queen, and he lets me take it, and I'm going to take there, and he does not take back. Take there. Now he does take back. Now I am down only 47 points of material, which is less than half of what I started with. I'm going to push, and now a free queen. Right, so now I'm only down 38 points of material. I did lose my queen. Obviously, it was for a trade, but it's still not great because that was my piece. I have a discovered attack on his queen. I doubt he'll notice it. He didn't. Let's see if he takes back. No, he takes my knight instead, and I'm going to take his queen, and he doesn't actually take back. And he still doesn't take back my bishop. Still doesn't take back my bishop, and he still didn't take back my bishop. I'm going to threaten his queen, see if he even notices it. No. Now he's only got 2 queens left. Now he's only got 1 queen left. How is he? I think I could actually win this because he's only got 1 queen left. Stay to the end of the video for a big surprise. He's only got 1 queen left. And since he's Martin, I'm going to hope he's going to blunder it. I'm going to try to bring my king in, maybe promote or something like that. Still, 1 queen could obviously win, but it's Martin, so it very possibly won't. So now he wins my bishop, because like I said, queens are very tricky pieces, but he doesn't even take it. That is funny. I think I'm going to go check. I am going to push. He goes check, trying to win my pawn, but he doesn't take my pawn. I'm going to push, seeing as my only chance in this game is promotion. Alright, so now he just completely blundered his queen. I have to watch out for stalemate. Yeah, so I promote to a queen. Now this should be an easy enough win. Yeah, I should have this game fairly simply with just my bishop and my queen. Yeah, I'm going to bring my knight in. I'm just going to have a bit of fun. Yeah, I blundered it. I'm just tripping him around the board until I can secure a check. I guess I could just bring my king, just end the game right there. Check. I'm assuming all of you guys know how to win with a queen and a king. I have to be careful with my moves because I really don't want to stalemate. If you do not... Okay, so that move would actually end in stalemate. So instead, I'm going to go there. That move would also end in stalemate. So instead, I'm going to go there. Now I go there. And if you guys could see, his king is getting closer and closer to the end of the board. And, yeah, so now the issue is if I go there. Okay, so I'm going to move my queen all the way back so that he can't stalemate. I'm going to bring my bishop and check and check. Okay, so now I just bring his king to the side of the board. Right, so now I just put my queen there, trap his king on the last rank of the board. I know I wasn't, I know I could have checkmated him definitely a lot faster, but I was just playing around. So, comment down below what you guys thought, and subscribe. Today we are going to do a video of the stupidest of the stupid, but also the funniest of the funniest. You're going to want to wait to the end of this game because this gets hilarious. So, we start off the game. Before we even start off, the first move was e4. We could see that, but That's either way. It's not. It's a book move, but that's just leading to all the bad stuff, right? It's book move, but it's 6 blunders to 5 blunders, 18 misses to 14 misses. This is gonna be a terrible game. Look at this. Look at this game rating. Mistake and blunder to blunder and blunder. What happened there? So this is going to be really funny. Let's start the review. E4, E6. So far, nothing bad. D4, C5. So far, nothing bad. And takes. Now, why in the world would you do that? Now, obviously, black has a better position than they started off with. They've got a nice developed. If it was black's move, then they have the move d5, and they get a nice center. They have a developed bishop, right? So I don't know why you took. Then we have best, and now this. I get that Martin is stupid, and I get that maybe he knows that the other Martin is stupid. But why are you going for a scholar's mate? Getting your queen out is never good in the opening. And why I wouldn't be surprised though if Martin falls for the scholar's mate, but he doesn't. The madness will continue. As you can see on the side, it is very, very colorful, mostly red. You have one great move over there, but it's mostly red, orange, stuff like that. And we have this. Why? What is the point? What is the point? Like let's look at the follow-up here. It's bishop takes and queen moves. As you can see, there is nothing else wrong with that move other than the pawn is taken. You get tempo on the queen, but why push g5? What in the world is the point of that? Where? What? Why? I don't understand. So, I guess what Martin White saw, the Martin that's playing white, is that if he takes with the knight, he'll get checkmated. So he's like, I don't see my bishop. There's no bishop on c1 that could also take the pawn. So I have to defend the f pawn so that next move I could take with my knight, because the bishop on c1 doesn't exist. So that's exactly what he did. I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, even when I was starting, what in the world? So we have g4, a good move, followed by more colorful knight g5. What is the point of that? I don't see it. Okay, you're threatening the pawn, sure, but I don't get it. Followed by a5. The pawn is hanging. It's right there. You left the pawn kind of hanging. I don't understand it. And what does a5 do for you? A6 would have been understandable because it would stop the knight and the queen and the bishop from going to b5. But why a5? It's a waste of a move, and it doesn't help you at all. Right? So obviously, Martin took the g-pawn. No, not at all. Why? I don't get it. Okay, so we have a miss. Pawn h4, protecting the already protected knight. And knight h6. Another miss. This game is getting really, really colorful. So, I don't get what's going on right now. I don't know why they're playing like this. But we have... See, why would you do that? What do you gain? You wasted a move. If you were going to castle queenside, you now can't. You want to guard the b-pawn? I don't get it. Knight a6. This guy's playing the Sicilian, but in the A file. What in the world? Your knight's active square is on c6, where you're covering two central squares, two important central squares, d4 and e5. But what do you get with that? He's trying to guard the b4 square for the third time. I don't understand. Now, White was thinking, the reason why I didn't play knight b5 before was because I was threatening to take his rook. But now that I'm not threatening to take his rook, let me go there. Let me waste the move. I'm actually curious. I don't know how this game goes, But maybe, just maybe, Martin will move his knight and completely blunder the rook. Let's see. No, a castle, which is also bad because your pawn is all the way over there. What are you gonna do with that? You have an open king. Like you had much better moves, right? You had much better moves. You could have just went. You could have just went there. Your knight was already covering the square. You weren't worrying about anything. Like seriously, right? So then we have this. I'm not sure why. Maybe they just want to kick the bishop, open the... See, if you were going to do that, if you were going to try to open the A file, wouldn't you have kept the rook there? King H8. This is where it gets really stupid. With mistake after mistake after mistake. What is the point of that? Are you preparing yourself for something? Why? First of all, it's a bad move because you're lining up your queen with your king, which, seeing as you're a 250, you could fall for very stupid things, like if white were to go bishop d2 or something like that, and you would completely fall for bishop c3, which completely wins the queen, and you're just wasting a move on that. Your king is still open. You didn't close it. Instead of now being open the G file, now it's open the diagonal file of A1 to H8. No. He's trying to get... No. Does he think the pawn can go... Does he think the queen is pinned because the pawn can go diagonally? I'm honestly confused. What's the move? Queen G7. Before, that would have been a good move. But now, what is the point of it? Why? Randomest moves. I'll bet this game ends from a draw from repetition or 50 moves or something like that. What do you... Why did you move both of your rooks to... I'm just gonna move the next... You're wasting move. Like... Oh, he's threatening the knight. He's threatening the knight that's already protected, and he's threatening with the bishop, which most people would say, well, better than a knight. That's actually a really great move. Oops. Where was I? Right. So then we have our first blunder for white. Pawn G3. What is wrong with that move? Well, what's wrong with that move is he can push the pawn, and you're like, your knight's done. You just completely lost it. But obviously that didn't happen. He moves his queen back. What? You have moved your queen, I believe, 3 or 4 times this game. What are you doing? So finally, this one time, we might get a little bit of satisfaction from a great move. Pawn e5. Finally, a not absolutely horrible move. And actually pretty good. And, another one. A good move. That's really impressive. Now, probably, white will play something... Well, actually, if it's Martin, he'll play something that blunders a piece completely. It doesn't blunder a piece. I guess his plan is to prepare to attack the knight. You're also blocking off your rook. That's already... I don't get it. This is he's supposedly a 250, but he's thinking like a 25. And a miss. Black's thinking right now, well, I'm going to take the pawn on f2, and it's going to be a fork, and I will win the game. First off, there is a queen there you cannot take. Second, there is a king there you cannot take. So, the move, another mess, h5. What are you doing with that move? Were you wasting moves? Seriously. Develop your pieces. I was about to say your rooks haven't moved, but they have. But I don't even call that moving. Develop your pieces. Do something. Seriously. What does that move help? But why? Because now, if black moves his queen, it's a fork. And, oh, I'm guarding that pawn from nothing that was attacking it. I don't get it. An inaccuracy. What do you gain from that move? What do you gain? He just pushes, kicks you out. Seriously. But obviously he didn't do that. He moved his bishop to a bad... Does he think pawns can capture forwards? I'm certain he thinks pawns can capture forwards. Yeah, I think probably. Your queen started there. Queen d1 has probably no purpose whatsoever. I don't even got nothing to say. Knight c5. So what does that help? Oh, that's is that why he went bishop b6, that he can go knight c5, which are both bad moves? I guess that makes sense. Not at all, but whatever. Another miss. Yeah, you threatening to take his protected knight. He could trade. Finally, a best. Whoa, that's actually pretty cool. Now we have an en passant. Put in the comments below if you don't know what an en passant is. I'll be happy to explain it to you. Right, two bests, en passant, and why? I think that knight has moved 3 times in the place where you could have moved it once, and it would have been good if the other 2 squares would have been helpful for you. None of those squares got you anywhere. And he moves his knight back. He moves back. Why are you moving it back? You want to be threatened by the queen? You want to not be able to move or lose your bishop? What are these people doing with their rooks? I'm sorry, I don't understand it. Okay, let's just go a few moves without having that. If you guys could see, the next part of the game is really, really red with blunder, then miss, then blunder, then miss, then blunder, then miss, then blunder. I don't understand it. I don't know how this game could possibly end in a win, because, by the way, this game goes on for 53 moves before ending. So we're not even halfway done yet, and this is already pretty hilarious and very sad. I don't know if you guys, I don't know how you guys could not be crying right now. I know I am. Chess has been disgraced. Okay, let's just go a few moves. What are you doing? What is the point of these moves? Okay, now we have a blunder. The blunder is pawn f5. I don't see why you would play that. I just don't get it. It's not coming to me. What in the world? Like, what? Look what happens. You push, and the knight is done. And then, you're just losing by a lot. White is already winning by 3.8, and somehow they're both Martin. They're also both playing terribly. Look at white side, look at black side. It's insane. But obviously, he doesn't find the blunder, and the game goes back to being drawn. This is so... Where are you going with that rook? You've moved it to g1, not to f1. I don't... It's... e5. Moving that pawn. For what? What's the point? Nothing. Okay. Finally, a best. And the knight moves. And somehow we had a best followed by an excellent. I didn't think you could have that this game. I didn't think that would be even remotely possible. The problem is that now I believe you can go knight e6. Oh, it's black. No, it's white's moves. I'm pretty sure you can go knight e6. Let's see what the computer thinks of that move. It's loading. Give it a second. I'm pretty sure you can just go knight e6 and fork the queen and rook. There's no piece threatening the square. The rook can't move at all, so even if there was no queen there, the rook would still be trapped. Okay, the analysis isn't giving me anything, but we have a complete blunder. A complete blunder. Like, what is this? What is this game? Just completely loses a pawn, tempo, threatens the queen, everything. But obviously, he doesn't take. He just blunders right back. White now has a 7.2 lead. A 7.2 lead. I'm gonna assume that the following move is right. Push with a discover check and you win the bishop. But obviously, White played that, right? He played c5. See? Not again. He played c5. Look, c5. No. No. Why? What is the reason? And the king moves back. You're wasting moves. I don't understand it. And back. A threat on the queen, a complete inaccuracy. Do you guys tell me I'm not the only one that sees this? He can just take the queen. What in the world? And obviously, Martin does exactly that. Why? What are you doing? He leaves the queen open again. Just take the queen. You're going to take the queen this time, right? No! He's thinking, well, I can't move my knight to take his queen because then he gets my bishop and he's threatening my... I don't care. You will win a queen. Now, obviously, White moves his queen. No, he blunders it for... Is that three? That is 3 back-to-back blunders. Blundering your queen again, every single move. Now this time, the knight finally takes the queen. And now Black is up 18 points of material and 3.9 in the evaluation bar, followed by an inaccuracy. Why? What is the point of that move? Okay, finally we have an excellent. I did not think we would get any more of those this game, or any of those at all, but... Takes the bishop. It's a free bishop. Black is still up 5.5. Obviously, he's going to move the rook, right? I guess... Wasn't the... What is the... Okay... Push, defending the knight, it's fine. And now we have another inaccuracy. Why? Why is that an inaccuracy? Okay, is it just me, or is that rook hanging? I don't know. I'm not threatening enough rooks yet. I need to threaten another one. What do you get with that move? You're winning. You're up 5 points of material. You're up a queen to a bishop. What are you doing? Takes. Finally. He takes the rook. And this time, not only are you wasting a move, you're also making it that your rook is no longer protected, and now it's free. Now it is a free rook. It is now tied up. Rook d7. Why rook d7? I have no clue. I cannot think in the mind of these bots anymore. A blunder. Like we haven't had enough of those this game. What is the point? What is the point of that move? Why are you playing it? I do not see why you are playing that move. But obviously, Black doesn't see it either. We have king move, another inaccuracy, another. I'm threatening his queen. Yay! He just blundered. He just blundered his queen completely. What is this? Just take the. Obviously, he takes the queen. No! He just blunders his knight. He blunders his queen again. Now, obviously, he takes. No! He moves his king back. Look at this. Look at the evaluation bar over the past few moves. It's at 3.4 for white. Goes completely to black. Goes completely to white. Goes completely to black. Goes completely to white. And now, finally, we get a take of the queen. Now white is up 9 points of material. And now, finally, they can win, right? Wrong. And now he's going for the pass pawn. Now, see, before, you were fine, right? Like, you move the bishop in front of the pawn can't pass. You set up a fork for yourself. And obviously he played it. King h7, take the knight with queen, obviously. Oh, he actually played it. I was not expecting that. Knight b3. Now it's forced mate in 2. Obviously, Martin finds it and wins the game. No. Completely losing a bishop. Now it's no longer mate in 2. And yet again, it is. Because he just took. Finally, he finds... Still not. Rook a7. There is now, yet again, mate in 2. And obviously, this time, he finds it. Still not. Still not. But now, he blunders mate in 1. Queen g8 checkmate. Subscribe. That was horrible. Hey guys, what's up? I have just played Martin, but instead of the regular setup, I have only pawns. So let's get right into the game. Now, if you haven't seen yet, go check out my other videos where I beat Martin with just a rook and just a queen. Separate videos. Now let's get started. I'm gonna start with I started with the move g4, and Martin responded with e6. After which I went f4, just getting my pawns to the center of the board. Probably gonna promote one. We'll see. Martin gets his knight out to a odd and weird position with knight h6, and we push g5 to threaten the knight and perhaps even trap it. So, he does not actually notice the threat on his knight. Instead, he moves his rook, and we take the knight. Now, instead of being down 31 points of material, we are only down 29 points of material. Now, we start getting out our king with king f2, and Martin goes queen f6 to threaten our pawn. So, in order to defend the pawn, we go pawn e3, and let's see, it looks like Martin develops his bishop. So now we are going to attack the bishop, obviously, with c3. Try to get Martin to blunder it. And Martin, instead of blundering his bishop, he blunders his bishop. I thought he blundered his rook, but it turns out the pawn is pinned. So we obviously go and take the bishop. Now, we still have 7 pawns left. He's still got most of his setup. So let's see if we can promote a pawn, perhaps get a queen. He pushes, probably we're gonna move, no, we're gonna, I went d4 in the position, try to stop him from getting central control, perhaps threaten the queen so that she gives up the pin of the pawn and we get the rook. And he goes king d7, which is an odd move. Now we go king f3. Probably should have went something like king e2 to threaten his rook, but I went king of 3, and he went rook b5. Okay, obviously a3, defend the pawn, because with only 7 pawns and no other setup, our pawns are valuable. So, let's see what Martin does. Martin goes king e8, moving his king back to its original square. and we go king e2. Try to get the king out. And he goes rook h5 to threaten the other pawn. Unfortunately, this time there is nothing we could really do about it, so we just push e4, and Martin doesn't even take, which I find really, really funny. Now we push e5, getting central space, attacking a queen. Martin probably won't even see it. No, he does. Martin goes queen g6, not taking the pawn, but as well not blundering his queen. So we take his pawn. He does not actually take back. He moves his bishop, allowing us to take, and perhaps even promote. So Martin could very simply move his knight to c6 or a6, and immediately stop promotion. And actually, Martin does do that. He doesn't go to the better spot, which probably would have been knight a6 to at least threaten the pawn, but he does stop the pawn from promoting. So now we go b5 to threaten the knight, and he doesn't notice it. Bishop c2 to protect the queen from which threat? He actually could have just taken the pawn with check, but of course he didn't, so we get his knight. Now, Martin, we're preparing, first of all, to take the b7 pawn, which would almost force a promotion of the queen, because whichever pawn we would promote would be protected by the pawn we didn't promote. So, of course, he stops that by going a5. Kidding, he didn't, whatever. And we take. Let's see if we're going to be able to promote. He goes f6. He completely ignores the threat on his rook. At least, go somewhere like rook a7 or a6. Don't just blunder your rook. So we obviously take the rook, promote to a queen. Now we're only down 7 points of material when we started at 31. He goes king d7, and we make a second queen. A second queen. Both of the pawns ended up promoting. At this point, we are up material. We are actually up material. As well, this seems like a good time to mention that I'm selling custom-made resin chess sets. Text me at chess.com at geekbros123, geekbros123, if you are interested, and possibly also some chess lessons for $7.50 and under. Now, he goes king e7 because he's in check, and now it would seem like we have checkmate on e8, but we don't because of his queen. So we go the queen on a8 goes to b7 with check. Now he goes to his only legal square, which is king d6, and the queen on c6. C8 delivers checkmate on c6. Subscribe. Tell me what you want for the next video to be in the comments. See you next time. I have played Martin with him having a full setup of queens. I have played him with having a bigger setup of queens, and I've played him with just a king and a queen. Now I'm playing him with just a king and a rook. I have already played him, actually, and now we're going to go into a game review. So
White stayed sharp and
right.
This is the way to win a rook.
I start with taking a pawn, completely blundering my rook, but he's Martin, so he doesn't find it. Obviously, I knew that it was a blunder, but I also knew he wouldn't find it, and he didn't. I don't know why the computer says it's best. I don't know what engine it's using, but obviously, the best is just to take my rook. Let's see what it says. Show tactic. I'm not sure exactly why it says that, because he could just take my rook and immediately win the game. It's not stalemate or anything like that. He could just take my rook. I don't know what the computer's saying. He goes e5, and now obviously I take the rook. And so chances are he moves his knight to a6, something like that, try to trap my rook, and he does exactly that. No, I don't know why is best. Okay, maybe because it's check, but why is this a good move? He just completely blundered his knight again. Maybe it's because he has a lot of material, so the computer doesn't care about a knight. I'm not sure. But I take, and he I can't take his bishop because his queen is defending it. So he stays with his queen defending it. He doesn't move his queen, obviously. How is that excellent? You blundered a bishop with check, and now I also get your pawn. And why is best? Okay, I guess best is putting his queen there because I still can't take, or else he takes back, and then I just lose. But fine. He goes there. I take the pawn. He goes queen f4, which I see why it's not a terrible move, but I probably would have done something to defend the pawn. So since he didn't defend it, I take, which is best. He pushes, trying to promote that pawn. If he does, I'll still probably win because he's Martin. So now I'm going to play what the computer calls an inaccuracy, and I had one reason and one reason only for playing it. And that reason is because this is Martin. Martin is a terrible chess bot. Now, the computer's saying he had mate in 2, which is obviously true. He had there, there, there. But Martin only finds mates in 1. He doesn't consider mate in 2. But he still did take the rook, which ends the game right then and there. What? Okay. He just completely blunders his queen. I don't know how they only saw it as a miss. I guess because he missed checkmate, but he still blundered his queen. So I don't know what happened. Fine. So just like that, I'm already down. I've already got him to only plus 11 points of material. He moves his pawn. I'm going to threaten that pawn. I can't have it getting past. And to promotion. He pushes, and now I take with check. So far, now I'm only down 10 points of material. I started with down 33. So I'd say I'm doing pretty well for myself. He moves his king, and now I'll just threaten his pawn. Try to take down the rest of his pawns, because those are really what the position comes to. So I threaten his pawn, and obviously he goes knight f6 to defend the pawn, or d6 to defend the pawn. No. So I'm going to take free pawn. I'm also threatening the f6 pawn with check. So a good move would probably be something like king e6, attack my rook, defend the pawn. I would have no checks or anything like that, and I would be forced to move my rook away. So, of course, he does that. So the computer says a better move is king g6, because I guess it hides the king behind the pawns a little bit better, as well as defending his pawn. That's fine. I still take, obviously, because he didn't defend his pawn. And now it's only 8 points of material. He's only at plus 8. The stupidest thing happens, right? His bishop's in a good position, right? We said before when he moved his bishop there, it was a fine move, right? And yeah, it was a fine move. So, but then he moved it back when my rook was right there. His bishop was fine, and he just had to move it to the one place where my rook could kill it. I take, obviously, and he goes knight h6. Fine. So, that was not a bad move at all. Developing the knight, obviously a more active square would have been f6, but, you know, it's still development. I realize I probably have to bring my king in, but first I go to d7. The computer would prefer c7. I don't know if it's much of a difference, but my plan is to try to skewer the king into letting me win a pawn. He puts his king on f5, and I continue with my plan of check, but unfortunately he does not blunder the pawn. So I start to bring my king into the game, king f2, and he puts his knight back on g8. Why? I don't... It's really confusing. Blocking his rook, first of all, and undeveloping his knight. So I continue bringing my king, and king f7, and now I win a pawn. Fairly simple. I'm not threatening that pawn, and even if I were to bring my king all around, it wouldn't actually work because I still can't trade. It would end up with a draw, and I promised you guys I was going to win. So, Rook h7, which is a fine move. I bring my king a little higher to get it into the center, into the middle of the game. And he pushes his pawn, which is fair. Passed pawn. I guess all of his pawns were passed pawns because I didn't start with any pawns. So yeah, now I go rook g1, just in case he decides to keep pushing it. I can go rook h1, and it would be very, very hard for him to remove me from the position. So, as a matter of fact, he does push again and totally does not blunder his knight. Incorrect. He completely blundered his knight, and I take it. Okay. Down to just -1 point of material. Obviously, though, I still can't trade rooks and just take the pawn, because that would still be a draw. I have to hope for him to blunder his pawn through skewer, maybe rook a8 and then rook a7, something like that. But that wouldn't work anyways because he went king e6. I go rook g4, and now I realize I have to get my rook back on g1 in case he pushes again. I have to be there to stop him from promoting, because if he promotes, this game is practically over for me. He goes king f7. By the way, if you look at the evaluation bar, we are now at exactly tied. And so now, indeed, I do block the pawn from promoting, and he pushes. Now, here's something that the computer calls a blunder, that just like with the rook move that won the queen, I call it playing a 250 that is overrated. Everyone knows, of course, that all of the bots are overrated. I've seen a 100 beat the Jimmy bot, which is rated 600. So if I were to give Martin a rating, I'd say 25. So I took the pawn, knowing fully well that this could lose me the game, but either way, the worst it can give me was a draw, because Martin probably does not know how to checkmate, which is king and a rook. If you don't know how to checkmate, which is a king and a rook, put it in the comments below. If that comment gets a fair amount of likes, I will make that my next video. So the game ended for me when Martin took. No, he blunders his rook back. Now I have forced mate in 7. Obviously, I know how to king mate, a king and rook mate, so I do just that, and the game ended very, very well. And subscribe, put in the comments what you want me to do next, and if this video, if you watch to the end, text me on chess.com the letter D, and the first one to do it will be in a game with me for a chess.com membership. Make sure to subscribe. See you. You guys saw my other video where I played the Martin bot, but he had all the pieces queens. Now I'm going to be playing him with just a queen and a king versus him having the full position. So let's start off again. I'm going to go king e2, trying to get into his position, try to hope he makes some blunders, because that's what Martin does, because I'm down 30 points of material. He pushes. Now I'm going to see if I can try to kill the rook. Let's see if he notices. He does not notice, so I'm going to take the free rook, and maybe he'll also give me the knight. And he does give me the knight. I'm going to take the knight. Let's see what else. Maybe he'll also give me the bishop. Maybe he'll move his queen back. Maybe he'll move his king into his queen's position. Let's see. Oh, okay. He goes c5, giving me the absolutely and 100% free bishop with check, so I'm going to take that. And he goes king e7. So I can't take that pawn. I can't take the bishop. What about queen b8? I guess threaten that pawn. So he went pawn g6. Now I'm going to take the pawn. And let's see where... he went knight h6. So far, he started with 30 plus points of material than me. Now he's only at 18. And, yeah, so now I think I'm going to go, I think I'm going to... Okay, I think I'm going to take, because I don't think he'll notice it. I actually don't think he'll notice it. And I was right. He didn't. He not only that, he could have taken my queen. He just blundered it. Okay, take with check. And he went king c7. Let's see. Maybe he'll also blunder the rook. I guess I could just threaten it. See if he'll blunder it. He absolutely did. This is really, really funny. Now I'm almost at a point where I'm up material. So let's see where he goes. Maybe he'll also blunder the bishop. He does also blunder the bishop. We are now tied in material because of all of his pawns. This is insane. I am playing Martin bot with only a queen and a king, and I am winning like crazy. Okay. Blunder a pawn. I take. Let's see what he does. All right, so I'm thinking that. Okay, fine. So he pushed. I don't have the knight, but I could take the pawn, which continues the threat on it. Let's see. He goes king c5, giving me yet another pawn. I guess I'll just take that. Now I can take the g6 pawn. Oh, now he lets me do it with checks that I automatically get his knight. All right, so let's take the g6 pawn. And now not only that, I get to take the knight with check. So I also win that pawn. I also win the other pawn with check. And now I win that pawn also over there. So he goes there. I'm going to take the a5 pawn. And now I very simply just checkmate because I have a queen and a king versus a king. So I think I'm going to go king e4, trying to push his king back. His king cannot come up anymore because my queen is blocking. And he moves back. So I think I'm going to go probably queen f5, the knight. I don't know if you learned that you're supposed to put the queen a knight's distance from the king. And he backs himself into a corner. King e5, bring my king. That way I can connect the queen and king and checkmate. King g7. I think here I go king e6, bring the king closer, kind of trapping him into the corner. Now over here, I think I have king. No, sorry. I think queen g4, right? The knight's thing. And then he goes. Oh, there. King h7. I think I have forced mate in 2. I'm gonna go king f7 probably, and now it's forced mate in 1. He has 2 places to go. If he goes king h8, then I have checkmate with queen g7 and queen g8. And if he went king h8. If he would have gone king h6, I would have had checkmate with queen g6. And I'm going to do a weirder checkmate. I'm going to go queen h5 checkmate. And there you have it, beating Martin with just a king and a queen. I'll see you next time. Subscribe. Can you beat Martin down a full queen and playing the worst opening in chess? Today, I'm going to attempt to beat Martin without any queen. The d1 square is not there, and he's up 9 points of material. I don't have my queen. Besides that, I'm going to have to play the Bon Cloud opening, the worst opening in all of chess. For those of you who don't know what the Bon Cloud is, it goes e4, e5, king e2, which is absolutely insane. And I don't even know why, but Martin just mirrored my move. It's a double Bon Cloud or something. Yeah, so the Bon Cloud, it's terrible. It doesn't develop any of your pieces. You lose your castle. You block your bishop. It is the worst opening in all of chess. And I'm going to still have to beat Martin, as well as being down a queen. So now that I played the Bon Cloud, let's get on with the position. Now I can actually start trying and playing normally because I have already completed my Bon Cloud duties. He's up 10 points of material, and now, well, I guess now he's only up 9 points of material, but, as well as he's blundered his knight, at least he took back, I guess, but, I bring out my bishop. Now he's only up 7 points of material. Keep in mind, though, it's not my fault. I started with, Alright, it's not my fault. I started with -1 queen. If he encountered my bishop, I suppose threaten his rook. Take his rook. Nice. give him a check on e1, and now I am actually up material. Even though I played the worst opening in all of chess and started with being down a queen, I am still beating this guy just 16 moves into the game. Okay. Okay. Knight d2. He's offering a rook trade. I suppose I accept. Let's see if I'm only accepting because I don't think he'll take back. He did take back. He's up 2 points of material. Bring my other rook in there. His queen moves back for a reason that I'm not aware of. Check. Hold up. Couldn't he have just done that earlier? All right. King to c2. He brings his king out. Now, if I had a bishop, that the king and queen would be very, very pinnable, but I don't because I traded it in the beginning of the game. Okay. Open up my bishop. Bring the knight to a very good square, and he completely just blundered his queen. Easy to win. Should I not take it? No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to take it. And he still just doesn't take back. Keep in mind, guys, I started with literally -9 points of material, and now he's almost -9 points of material. This is insane. Not only that, if we go to the beginning of the game, e4, e5, king e2. What is that? That is literally the worst chess opening known as the Bomb Cloud. Okay, I'm up 8 points of material. Better my pawn structure slightly. Let's say bring my knight to a better position. My check. There you go. And now I can just trade pawns. Easily win this game. I doubt it's, I mean, I can just take. Really simple. Now I have to move my knight, though, because the pawn is no longer pinned. And just move it there. I have to be careful not to let the game go to a 3 repetition. Okay, fine. So, pawn for pawn. No, he doesn't. I'm honestly considering taking just to disrespect him. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. He takes my knight. That was unexpected, but I obviously did it on purpose. Threaten his pawn. Takes. He does not take. He goes check. Now he takes. And even though I purposely, of course it was purposely, obviously it was purposely, don't even try to say otherwise, I gave him my knight. I am still absolutely destroying this game. Take his pawn. Now he's only got a bishop, which even though he did just blunder it, I am going to leave it alive because of stalemate. So, move my rook. I don't want to lose it. He blundered it again, but I am still going to keep it alive just for fun. Maybe if he makes it absolutely necessary. That's the third time he's blundered it in the past 2 moves. And 4. Okay. He didn't blunder it this time. Fairly surprising. Let's say king c6, getting ready for checkmate. Move my rook. Okay, he's making it kind of necessary for me to take the bishop, which is not 100% possible anymore. Check, and okay, that's just force mate at this point. I don't have the evaluation bar, but that's just force mate. Not a stalemate, not even close. He can move back to e8 and check, and moving it is still not stalemate, and there is still not stalemate. Okay, I have checkmate in 1. I'm just considering if I'm going to do it. Yeah, this video is 6 minutes, slightly more. I might as well just end it. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more stupid Martin videos. Comment down below what's the best you've ever beaten Martin doing with balanced odds. And make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Go check out my other videos. Subscribe. Ever tried to play Martin with balanced odds? Well, I have attempted it, and now I am going to show the game to you guys. So let's start the game review. I start off with a, I believe, fine move. Yep. I'm not sure what the best move was because it's a different position, but I went with e4, and he went g5, which is just immediately not a good move. So I continue developing into the center with what the game review calls another excellent move, and Martin blunders his pawn. So, of course, I immediately take, and then Martin threatens my bishop. I'm kidding, he completely blunders his queen. Unfortunately, for now, I did miss it. I did not have a perfect game, I'll admit that. So I take his pawn, and Martin blunders his queen a second time. Unfortunately, I still don't see it. I take the pawn, but rest assured, I do end up destroying him, and this is my first try playing him with these balanced odds. This game is actually part of a series where I will play Martin with balanced odds again and again, each with a higher level of balanced odds. This is lower level with minus 450 elo, which means it's meant to be played with players 450 elo less than you. I know Martin's 1,000 less than me, so I understand why I won so easily. So Martin goes queen c8, which is a miss, and now the evaluation says we are tied. Even though I started off with minus 4 points of material, the evaluation says we are tied. Pawn takes. I suppose it's not the best move. So he goes bishop h6, which is a blunder, and I take his bishop. Okay, so now Martin takes back, which is a fine move, obviously, because he's not going to leave it hanging. And I promote to a queen. I know chances are I'm not going to keep the queen for very long because, well, he's able to take it in multiple different ways, and it's kind of in his territory. But I thought, well, at least I get a knight, and also it's possible that he might let me keep my queen. But he doesn't. He takes with his rook, and now I go knight f3. You missed an opportunity to develop a piece, which is actually odd because I did develop a piece, like, just now. I'm not sure exactly what the computer's saying, but he goes b6, which there isn't particularly a reason for, so I threaten his knight, which is the best move. His knight's not at all defended, and if I win it, I may also be able to get points on the rook and break his kingside. He pushes, and here it says is my first blunder, taking the knight. I know I blundered. I didn't have a perfect game. I don't think anyone ever had a perfect game. And Martin actually does find it surprisingly. I did not expect him to have a great move. And I blocked with the knight, which apparently the computer doesn't like because it lets him take with check, which Martin actually surprisingly does. I move my king. Another check, which is not a good move, and I move my king. Now, queen c3 check, and king f4. Now, Martin is actually a brilliant chess bot, if you guys didn't know, and he obviously takes my knight. No, Martin not only doesn't take my knight, Martin also misses that I can take his bishop with check. So the skewer is still there, but he's not allowed to play it because he's in check. Now, in this position, Martin plays an absolutely amazing move. A move that not only stops check, but as well does something else amazing. As well as blocking check, it blunders his queen. So I take the queen with check. I feel that I'm getting close to checkmate. I wasn't sure if I should take with the bishop or the queen, but I realized if I take with the bishop, then I can possibly also win the rook with it if he goes somewhere like king d8, something like that. So I take the queen. He does not, however, go king d8. He goes king e7, but I continue with the checks, grabbing a pawn, creating a pass pawn, and trying to force Martin to the edge of the board where I can then checkmate him. So I go queen d7 check, not allowing him to go anywhere to the left side of the board and pushing him further to the right side of the board because Martin is forced to go to king f6. So now I deliver another check, which Martin is still not able to go anywhere to the left. And not only that, he is yet again forced closer to the right, and he goes king g6, which is a forced move. Now I start to use my queen again, still forcing him closer to the edge of the board, quarter of the board. If you see on the evaluation, it's force mate 8. And so I go queen e6. King h5 is not a good move for a few reasons. First of all, you're getting close to my king, as well as the edge of the board, which means checkmate is coming. And if you guys saw the evaluation bar, it just went from mate in 9 to mate in 2, which I did find. A better move, probably best, likely would have been something like... king g7. King g7 is not a bad move. Let's go on the retry. Right, best. Okay, so bishop f3 check, which is the correct move, making it mate in 1. Because he cannot go up, he is forced to king h4, which leads to queen h6 checkmate. Put in the comments below if you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to continue seeing balanced odds against Martin. I also created a fan club for my channel. I'll put the link in the description. And as well, if any of you guys are interested in lessons or custom-made resin chess sets, put that in the comments. I will be checking every comment and hopefully responding to them. Subscribe.